Hi, and welcome to Hypnotic Healing. My name is Elisa Di Napoli, and today I want to talk about a little bit about sleep, about how to get away from the bad cycle of insomnia. Now, of course, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, there are some preliminary things that you need to be really aware of. You might have heard this before, so I'll go through them quickly. First of all, I'd like to say it's not normal to be sleeping throughout the night. This is something that we have been conditioned to do. But if you go to civilizations where they don't have electricity, for example, it is very, very normal to go to sleep when the sun goes down, then to wake up around midnight, 1 o'clock, for a couple of hours, stay awake, go back to sleep, and then wake up when the sun comes up. That's pretty normal. Now, this has changed since we've had the advent of electricity, and we've conditioned ourselves to believe that a good night's sleep is a sleep where you go to bed at 11, wake up at 7. And we have conditioned ourselves to do this. But sometimes things happen that break this conditioning. Now, the first thing to keep in mind when you want to have a good sleep hygiene is to have a period where you wind down before you go to bed. You don't want to work yourself to the max and then go to bed immediately. That's not going to work. You have to have some time to wind down. The second thing is exercise. Exercise is absolutely wonderful for having a good night's sleep. But do not do it after the sun has gone down. This has got to do with the levels of melatonin in your body and how that is related to exercise. I'm not going to go into it right now. I might get into that in another video in more depth. But at the moment, just suffice to say, do not exercise after the sun has gone down, but do exercises. That's really going to help you with the level of melatonin, and therefore it's going to help you to have a good night's sleep. And having a nice small milk drink, warm milk drink helps. Also, a small amount of alcohol before you go to bed does help, but not a large amount of alcohol. If you have a large amount of alcohol before you go to bed, you may sleep well for the first 5 hours, but after that, in the second half of the night, the alcohol will be metabolized by your body. You will either wake up or have a very unrestful sleep. The bedroom needs to be blacked out. We, especially as we grow older, become very, very sensitive to the light. So especially in countries like Scotland, where, for example, in the summer there's more light, make sure that there's no light in the room so you don't get woken up too early. Of course, the mattress is important. Sometimes we forget when we get a partner, we get married, and to even change a mattress. You know, our mattress needs to be changed every few years. This is pretty obvious, but sometimes we forget that. And the mattress needs to be not too hard, not too soft. It needs to basically give support to the spine. Also, your bedroom should be an oasis. There should not be a TV in your bedroom. The bedroom should be an oasis of sleep, only made for sleep. Do not work in your bedroom. Do not work on the computer with light screens, phones, and things like that before going to bed, as that will influence your circadian rhythms, the amount of light that comes into your eyes. So really keep that in mind. Now, one of the most important things that I'd like to talk about is how to reverse conditioning. So I was talking before about the conditioning that we go through as babies when we learn to sleep through the night. But sometimes we reverse condition ourselves to not sleep in the bed. I don't know if you've ever heard of those people that find themselves falling asleep on the couch in front of the TV. Then they wake up, they go to bed, and as soon as they're in bed, they can't sleep anymore. Now, if that has happened to you, what's happening is that you reverse conditioned yourself to associate your bed with lack of sleep, with being awake, and you've associated the couch with falling asleep. So how do you change that? There's 4 behavioral techniques, 4 behavioral principles that you will need to learn to recondition yourself, to find the bed, the place where you sleep. Okay, so these are the 4 behavioral rules to train yourself to associate bed with a place of rest and sleep. Now, first of all, Okay, so choose a time that you are going to go to sleep. That includes 8 hours of sleep. So, of course, you can't squeeze 8 hours of sleep in 6 hours. So, make sure you've got at least 8 or more hours in between the time that you've chosen. So, for example, between 11 and 8, you decide this is when I'm going to go to sleep. I'm not going to go to sleep at any other time. That's rule number one. Rule number two, only go to sleep when you are tired, even if it is past your chosen bedtime. Say that you've chosen 11 as your bedtime, but you're not tired. Wait until 11:30 when you're tired. But wake up always at the same time, even if you are tired. So you're not staying in bed after that time. Okay? Third rule is if you go to bed and after half an hour you're still awake, get out of bed. Most people fall asleep within 15 minutes of getting into bed and switching off all the lights and everything like that. So if you are still awake after half an hour, you're actually associating the staying in bed with being awake. So you don't want to do that. Get out of bed and do something boring. It's important that you don't do something stimulating, but you do something boring. Okay? So I don't know, read a book that's really, really boring, wash the floor, do an assignment, whatever it is that you find boring, that you don't really want to do, your brain doesn't want to do that until you feel tired, go back to bed. If after half an hour you're still not asleep, once again, get up, do the same thing, boring thing until you get tired, and repeat this until you fall asleep. Try not to catastrophize and say to yourself that this is a disaster. Think about the facts that you have survived before, even on zero sleep. It wasn't good, but you survived. So it's important not to catastrophize, awfulize, make it the end of the world, but instead think about it as it's okay. I can do this, I can stand this. Finally, stick to this routine, at least during the training period, even at the weekends, okay? Even at the weekends, even if you haven't had a lot of sleep during the night because it's a weekend, during this training period, stick to the routine. Afterwards, when you've conditioned yourself again to sleep through the night, it would be possible for you to wake up later. But until you do that, to retrain your brain to associate bed with an interrupted long sleep, this is what is very, very successful. Of course, hypnosis is absolutely 100% a wonderful tool to use for insomnia as well. So if you want some professional help and if you want to help yourself by training your subconscious to fall asleep just in the way that it was always meant to, then go and see a hypnotherapist, which will help you with relaxation, will help you with guided visualization, and give you exercises that you can do to help yourself with this retraining. Any questions, please do let me know. Get in touch. I'll be happy to hear from you. Leave comments, subscribe to my channel, and see you another time. Thank you. Bye.